So I just saw Pixar's Lightyear, and this is their big return to movie theaters. And I gotta be completely honest, I have missed seeing a Pixar film in theaters. Like, I still can't believe I have this on my list. Like, the fact that I actually saw this movie, I can't believe it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to For the Agenda. My name is Huang, and today I'm going to be reviewing Disney Pixar's Lightyear. Now, this is not only Pixar's return to the movie theaters, on the big screen, but it's also a return for the Toy Story brand, but in a different way, which they clarified at the beginning of this movie. I was fortunate enough to catch an early screening of this movie. This is one of the films I have been anticipating for quite a while. Buzz Lightyear is obviously one of my favorite Disney characters of all time. Like, if I have to do the Mount Everest of Disney slash Pixar characters that I love, it's obviously Baymax, Stitch, Buzz Lightyear, and Wally. Those are the four that I grew up with, the four that I just absolutely adore. So naturally, I was very excited to watch this movie, and now having seen it, I can officially say I'm blown away by it. I was really impressed. I absolutely love it. This is one of Pixar's most unique and daring films that I've seen in quite some time. I personally don't have a Pixar films ranked list, but if I did, I think this one would crack into the top 10, and that's pretty high given that Pixar's released a lot of movies. I cannot wait to see this film again and again and again and again. So let's just discuss Pixar's comeback. Now, they have been on a roll so far, due to the pandemic. They released Soul and Luca through Disney Plus, which I felt would have been great to see on a theater, but it was out of our control. The recent Turning Red premiered recently on Disney Plus, and now Lightyear. And so far, I'm loving this new direction for Pixar. It definitely feels like it's geared more for adults. They've definitely always had this direction, but now they're kind of leveling it up with the stories they're deciding to tell. Now, this film, it centers on legendary space ranger Buzz Lightyear, who's embarking on an intergalactic adventure alongside a group of ambitious recruits and his robot companion, Socks. Now, I will say, this film justifies its existence past a cash grab for the sake of nostalgia, to the point where I didn't even consider it part of the Toy Story universe as I was watching it. It felt like its own film, and it also felt like a love letter to so many sci fi classics. It had elements of Star Wars, Interstellar, 2001: A Space Odyssey, even Gravity. It also proves that Pixar should be making more films like this, these sci fi or even action adventure films. They're very entertaining, and they're definitely different for Pixar. Speaking of Pixar, you love one of their films when you cry, and I can attest. I cried 3 times throughout this film. It's beautiful. I will probably cry more when I rewatch it. It's beautiful. The messages within this film are great, especially for kids. The way it focuses on making mistakes and how it's okay if they happen. What matters is that you tried and how you can move past those mistakes. I thought that was beautiful. And I also loved how this movie spotlights the importance of showing up for people when they need you, even when they don't admit they need your help. I think that was great. I also loved how what really matters is that you're there for them. And the movie shows that really well. It's especially beautiful to see during the moments when they team up to work together. It's a great family film, and I'm glad you'll be able to see this in theaters because I'll be quite honest. This wouldn't have been the same to see this on Disney Plus, and it would have felt like you were robbed of that experience. This film was made to be a theater going experience this summer. Also, quick side note, kind of funny how this is coming out after the success of Top Gun Maverick. I know this was planned a while ago with the release date, but both of these are films that involve, pilots and working together and team ups. It's pretty ironic. Top Gun being the movie for teenagers and adults, and Lightyear, to be honest, is perfect for all ages. For the whole family. I don't know how a double feature of this would go, but they're both great films that you should catch in theaters for sure. Speaking of the family aspect, I think kids will enjoy this movie if they love animated films with like action scenes, let's say similar to The Incredibles or even Wally, or even if they like Star Wars, then they're gonna like this because the film does have a lot of action. I think it's great for adults. Kids, they might be into it. Depends on what they like. It's very much the kid version of Interstellar mixed with Star Wars. It also has the right amount of humor. I thought that was great. It's not as bright and as colorful as other Pixar films, like say Luca, but it's still gorgeous. The animation here is honestly breathtaking, so beautiful to look at, and that it made me so much happier that I was seeing this in an IMAX screen. It just made the movie so much of a better to watch. And honestly, speaking of the family aspect, parents out there watching this, look, Socks, the cat, your kids are gonna fall in love with them. It's also gonna be the hottest selling toy this holiday season. I'm guaranteeing it. You know, his character is so adorable and lovable, and he's a hilarious side character. I literally purchased one for myself online after watching this. It's going to sell out everywhere. I'm calling it as of now. And the only reason I had to purchase one online is because unfortunately the two stores in Puerto Rico, the Disney store, closed down. We miss them every I miss them every day. And I think it's a shame because if I had been able to see Lightyear in theaters and then go to the store after watching this movie, I would have bought so much merchandise. To be quite honest with you, it's not the same to then go online and buy the item and to go right there in the store, see the merchandise yourself, be so enthralled in the experience, and get the merchandise to take home after that great time. It is unfortunate. But if you have a Disney store nearby wherever you see this, just saying, make that part of your adventure afterwards. Now, let's talk characters. Chris Evans is obviously playing Buzz Lightyear, and as a Buzz Lightyear fan, you can be kind of nervous because, when your favorite character gets a new rendition, you want to make sure the person who's playing this character nails it perfectly. And Chris Evans does that. Like, he captures the essence of what made Buzz Lightyear one of my favorite Pixar's characters. He's quite funny and he brings new depth to the character while also bringing a lot of heart. You can really tell that he really wanted this role and what it meant for him. He was striving for perfection, and quite honestly, I think he did it. He's honestly perfectly cast. I can't think of anyone else doing this character. Now, Socks the cat, he steals the whole show. The performance is just hilarious. Comedic gold, even. He's so hilarious and lovable, which is also a great way to describe the rest of this cast. The team members were great and really entertaining. There was some great banter flowing around between them. And when it came to working together, the actors portraying these characters really sold it. And of course, the writing is pretty good here, too. So, you had Kiki Palmer's Izzy, Taika Waititi's Mo, and even Uzo Aduba's Alicia Hawthorne. The characters here make such an impact and they are so memorable. I love them. Also, I absolutely love that Pixar here has a loud and proud same-sex couple, especially given that this film is releasing in theaters during Pride Month, and we honestly love to see it. I also think people may have a problem with the villain reveal. I was cool with it. I liked it, but to be fair, I was enjoying myself so much that I looked past it and went with it. So maybe a little bit biased, but fair warning, if you're on Twitter, you might see some people complaining about it. But if anything, I tried to watch this film from the perspective of someone watching a space adventure for the first time, not knowing anything of Toy Story. Also, the film itself, it's very fast paced. You will not get bored of this film. There's a lot of action, the humor is great, the characters are lovable, the movie flows perfectly. I didn't want it to end. I was having such a great time. I was also shocked by this movie because there were a couple of surprises I wasn't expecting. So that was great. It felt like a perfect blend of, again, Star Wars, Interstellar, Gravity, and the right amount of humor. Fair warning. Post-credit scenes. There are three. There are three. One mid-credit scene, and the other two are at the very, 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 very end of the credits. Like, there are a lot of credits. But by the end of it, you have two scenes. So to wrap up my review, in the end, Lightyear truly goes to infinity and beyond. This is pure Disney and Pixar magic. It's honestly everything I could have wanted as a fan and more. I felt like a kid again in the film watching this. It's one of the most exciting films I've seen in theaters this year. It's a visually stunning space adventure that makes you believe in the magic of movies again. I adore this film. I'm not lying. I adore this film. And I honestly can't wait to rewatch it. The film may prioritize action over heart sometimes, but it's such an exciting adventure and it's so much fun that you're having. You'll kind of look over that. But when this film is emotional, when this film is heartfelt, you feel those moments. Now, if you can see this in IMAX or even Dolby Atmos, do it. Just see it on the biggest screen possible. This film has officially entered, as of this moment, my top 5 films of the year. Hold on, let me check the good old letterbox to see. All right. This will be the third film that gets the specific rating from me this year. And so when it comes to my rating, you may find this biased, but I'm doing it anyway. It's my channel. But as a fan, I felt it was fantastic. As a critic, it was new. It was a breath of fresh air. So I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. This is the third film of the year that has gotten that rating from me. So I'm looking at potentially a film that's going to be at the top part of my year list for sure. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Hopefully you do too. So that is my review of Lightyear. Be sure to check it out in theaters on June 16th in Puerto Rico and on June 17th in the United States. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, you can hit the like button and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. You can follow me on Letterboxd and Twitter at Leading Mohicans. And remember, regardless of what others feel about the things you love, it's always for the agenda. Bye.